So, Acho, you have an issue with the Texans releasing J.J. Watt and holding on to Watson.
I have an issue with the reaction to it.
Okay.
Right? Like, do I have an issue with the Texans doing it? Not necessarily, but let's talk about the reaction to it. Remember, Deshaun Watson, at first, he doesn't necessarily ask out. He just asked for a little bit of say-so.
Okay.
He asked for some say-so sell, and he didn't get the say-so, so he said no and said he wanted to go. That's what happened. But then J.J. Watt, he comes in and says, hey, I would like to get up out of here. And just like that, peacefully, amicably, no backlash.
Yes.
I haven't heard any Hall of Fame NFL coaches speak up. I haven't heard any Hall of Fame NFL quarterbacks speak up. I haven't heard any NFL pundits. I haven't heard any NFL analysts really speak up and criticize J.J. Watt's situation. Isn't that selfish?
Ooh.
He still had a year left on his contract.
Ooh.
He's the face of the franchise, face of the organization for the last 10 years. Drafted in 2011, J.J. Watt is the Houston Texans. And how dare he ask to leave and just be granted that so peacefully with no pushback, with no backlash. So, Sel, I am a little curious as to why there was the difference, right? Like with Deshaun, he was kind of being played as a villain. Right, like Deshaun, he removed the Texans from his IG profile, removed the Texans from his Twitter bios, and all of a sudden, Deshaun's a bad guy, but J.J. Watt made out to be a hero. I don't have an issue with the Texans releasing Watt and holding on to Watson. No, that's in the Texans management.
Okay.
That's the Texans decision-making. Y'all do you. However, I am interested in, like, how come J.J. Watt just left and we all sing his praises, but Deshaun Watson is being vilified? That is where I take my issue, big dog.
I have no problem at all just to do my job. I have no problem at all with them releasing J.J. Watt. But you, by answering the question, has now raised even more questions, which I would love to dive in. Let's get into the deep end of the pool, mess our hair up a little bit. Okay, one, you have to understand this, and I know you do, but let's just have some fun with it. The biggest difference between J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson is they are in love with J.J. Watt's past. But they are in love with Deshaun Watson's future. So in this situation, they're not even starting on equal ground. This is one situation when you talk about Deshaun Watson where they're trying to do everything in their power to keep that player. They're trying to hold on to that greatness and saying there's even more to blossom. When you look at J.J. Watt, all you can say is, well, he used to be, and he may still hold on to some of that going forward. It's been a tale of two careers for J.J. Watt. Amazingly, his first 5 years, he put the world on notice. 74.5 sacks. Last 5 years, 26.5 sacks. Last 5 years totals are his first 2 years combined. Like, it's So there's nothing about J.J. Watt that suggests to anybody that better days are ahead. But with Deshaun Watson, obviously that's the case. So if you want to get into the reaction, the reaction is just based on the relationship. The relationship goes like this. How good are you? Well, J.J. Watt is kind of an unknown, if not a known with a negative. With Deshaun Watson, it's a positive with an unknown of even more positive. So that's why you're getting different reactions. My last layer on this first lap is simply this. This is what human capital looks like. This is what everyone needs to do when they go home, check on their bank statements, look in their apps and say, how much money I got? Open up another account and check your human capital in any situation and any relationship. Because what I saw right here was not color-based. It was simply connection-based. What have you done for me? And I'm J.J. Watt. And now all I can command on the open market through a trade is a third-round pick. So guess what? We're going to do you one. We're going to serve you one. We're going to hook you up, big dog, because you hooked us up. And it's not like we're going to get a big return for you anyway. So let's do you a favor and exchange some of that human capital.
Before I flirt with the devil on the details, Marcellus,
I know you're going.
Let me go somewhere here. Because are we rewarding bad performance? Well, what do I mean?
We've done that before.
Like J.J. Watt, last 2 seasons, 5 sacks, 6 sacks, or 5 sacks, 4 sacks. Last 2 seasons, he ain't really showed up, showed out. But Deshaun Watson this past season, his best season ever. Career high completion percentage, career high passing yards, career high touchdowns, career high as far as the lowest number of interceptions while having career high outputs. He has the fewest interceptions. Deshaun Watson, career highs across the board. But Marcellus, when we hear people talk about Deshaun Watson, you hear quotes like from Dick Vermeil, I think they change his diapers, okay?
When
You hear quotes about Deshaun Watson, you hear quotes from Brett Favre. I'm kind of old school. You get paid a ton of money to do a job and just do it and let the chips fall where they may. I think we make too much money to voice an opinion. Now, if I'm not mistaken, J.J. Watt signed a $100 million contract long before Deshaun Watson signed a $100 million contract. If I'm not mistaken, when I watched J.J. Watt and his Instagram or Twitter video that he put out to the world when he said he wanted to leave Houston, he voiced his opinion.
Yeah.
He said, hey, I think it's best that we part ways. That is J.J. Watt voicing an opinion. So I'm not yet mad, Sal, at the crux of your take, the nucleus of your take, but if the pushback, if the backlash has been based upon opinions and players making too much money to voice opinions, if the backlash has been, hey, I think we should change Deshaun Watson's diapers because Deshaun Watson is upset with wanting out and not getting out, then I'm just a little curious as to where is the backlash. I'm also a little curious as to J.J. Watt is declining, and it's just like, J.J., we love you. Thanks so much for playing. Deshaun Watson is actually the king of the jungle right now, and he can't get what he wants.
Yeah. But we got to be smart enough to translate what love looks like.
Translate it then. And we're coming off Valentine's Day.
Yes, we are.
Had to translate
and I know you didn't have one super single out in them streets.
I know.
How many times did you cut and paste the same letter to the ladies out there? How many times?
Three copy and paste text messages, if I'm being honest.
Boy, I wish they could exchange DMs and see, he ain't saying that. Oh, you kidding? Yeah, super sexy. All right, super single. Let's talk about what love languages look like in pro sports. When they hold on to you, when they won't let you go, when they replace the living legend of your franchise, they're telling you, we love you, Deshaun Watson. And please don't miscalculate that love. We are going to do everything we can to make sure that you're happy in this situation. Happy in this situation. Not perfectly happy in this situation. Happy. You know why? I'm going to put myself in this situation. I'm going to insert myself in this because I've been in this same relationship before. I've been on two teams, Buffalo Bills, San Diego Chargers. When I became whoever I became at my highest of powers, you know what they did? They released Bruce Smith. Whoa. Come on, my ego said, excuse me, you the man if they let Bruce Smith go because of you. When I got to San Diego after I put in my work, they released the late, great Junior Seau and Rodney Harrison, saying it's on you, Wiley. Now, they both made mistakes. And dummies, should have kept them and then kept me. But the point of this is you can't mistake and misunderstand what a love language looks like in pro sports. A transition from J.J. Watt to Deshaun Watson shouldn't be met with any criticism because the best days for J.J. Watt are behind him. Now, what you're talking about is some old-timers, some former players. Why aren't they criticizing this move? I'll tell you why they're not criticizing this move. J.J. Watt will be 32 next season. So why would you criticize a team moving on from an older player? J.J. Watt has no more guaranteed money remaining on his contract. And he's entering his final year. So what they did, and remember, franchises don't go out there with their hearts first. Oh, we love you, J.J. Watt, so much. We're just going to release you because you want to be gone. They went under the radar, said, hey, what y'all going to give me for J.J. Watt? J.J. Watt, anybody? What y'all want for this? They were like, third round pick, if that. So then they came back, and all of a sudden they wanted to stand on higher ground and say, J.J. Watt, let's mutually agree to part ways. Now I'm going to ask you, because you've been in business, you look like it with all that on. When's the last time you woke up at the same exact time as an organization, as a suitor, as a network, and said, you know what? We both are thinking the same thing at the same time. Mutually agreed in corporate America means which one of us is going to save face. It's only a cover, bruh. They didn't agree to this. What they understood is the Texans are under fire right now because of Deshaun Watson and others. And J.J. Watt doesn't want to lose any more leverage, the little leverage he has left in his old career. So they just said mutually agreed, but it was just nothing but cover for some love that they had for Deshaun Watson.
But then don't you have issue with the fact that at the core of it all, J.J. Watt wanted out. At the core of it all, Deshaun Watson wanted out. They both wanted out, or they both want out. J.J. Watt got it. Deshaun Watson has
When
not
did he
yet got
get it, though? He got it on his final year of a deal where he has no more money.
But there's still $17 million left.
Hold on,
In theory, J.J. Watt is still owed $17 million. He still has one more year to fulfill his obligations to that Texans organization.
Would the organization want to, first of all, does the organization want to give J.J. Watt $17 million? No. Okay, so guess what? Mutually agree. Second of all, does the organization want to give Deshaun Watson his $39 million? Yes. So guess what? We're starting from a completely different place. Beyond that, we know we can get an ROI on Deshaun Watson. There's no guarantees. As a matter of fact, it's a lot saying you're not going to get a return on investment from J.J. Watt. So let's move on. J.J. Watt's at the end of his deal. Deshaun, you was just crying at the podium, talking about how you love the organization, love the city, and love the community. And you're on year one of a new deal. So they're in completely different spaces.
Okay, then let's go to this next layer. Then the issue is not that players want out. The issue then has to be that you can't be good and want out. Because my thing does Deshaun want it out? JJ wanted out. Deshaun's still under contract. JJ's still under contract. Deshaun got backlash. JJ did not. Then the issue at hand isn't a matter of Deshaun wanting out. The issue isn't that Deshaun's under contract. The issue has to be that Deshaun is still good, whereas JJ is not. My problem with what you're saying, Sel, and it's actually not at all with what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
My problem with the response with what everybody is saying is, JJ, he's not that good anymore. That doesn't make sense. They both wanted out. They're both still under contract. You can't be mad at Deshaun for wanting out and Deshaun being under contract and not be mad at JJ. You just can't.
No, I can't. I'll tell you why. One, it's a difference between being desired or wanting to be disposed of in this situation. Look, you've been in relationships 1,001 times. She wants to break up. Are you still in love with her? Or are you like, all right? Like, J.J. Watt is, all right, let's go. Get out of here. This is the brand new toy in Deshaun Watson. You just opened up. Christmas was a week ago, and it still got his batteries, and they fresh. You want to still play with the toy. Versus J.J. Watt, 3 tires left, like wobbly, no batteries, and you talking about, dog, I'm good with this. I can dispose of J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt still has a lot of football. This is not the conversation to have. X's and O's, J.J. Watt still has a lot of football left. Matter of fact, I got to get this one layer in. J.J. Watt got robbed in terms of how his numbers look in perception. This year, he played 222 passing snaps. That was the second fewest in the healthy season for him. You know what happened to him? He was on the 4-12 team. I've been on sorry teams before. The team gets ahead against you guys. They run the ball against you guys, and you don't get the same amount of opportunities. Now, he took a notch down in explosiveness, but in terms of his handwork, in terms of him still being able to get to the passer, he still has a lot of that ability. But he was on a sorry team, and he knows I will go down with the ship once again on a rebuilding sorry team.
But that's where Deshaun is.
But Deshaun is the one who's supposed to captain the ship.
What's JJ supposed to do? $100 million J.J. Watt. Shoot 3-time player of the year, J.J. Watt.
When was those 3
years? The best player on the franchise's history. Many have been arguing J.J. Watt. Yeah. And he not supposed to right the ship?
No.
Captain America, J.J. Watt not supposed to right the ship?
Dog, Captain America had to give it up to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is the Look at me. Look at me. I'm your captain now. You know what? Ain't no way J.J. Watt's going to right this wrong with this Houston Texans. It's all about Deshaun Watson and his capabilities and his still present abilities. J.J. Watts are an unknown. If not, it is a bad thing to know what he still is capable of. It's limited in terms of direction. Deshaun Watson, can you take a compliment? Like, I don't understand this criticism that is coming from you that you're hoping that should come from others.
So riddle me this. Let's go. I don't even know where the question is anymore, but we going places.
I don't care.
If Deshaun Watson has now witnessed J.J. Watt stay for the Texans for 10 years, be one of the greatest players in the franchise's history, 100-plus sacks, second most sacks since he got into the league, and when it's all said and done, J.J. Watt still has money on his contract, but it's like, hey, this organization is terrible. I can't right this ship. I want out. Then can we at all blame Deshaun Watson for seeing this situation play out before his very eyes and not trying to get out earlier? A fool learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Deshaun Watson is looking at a blueprint, a 6-year-older version blueprint of what is going to happen to Deshaun Watson, and he's trying to get out before he ends up like J.J. Watt. Is this situation in and of itself, Sel, does this not validate and completely vindicate what Deshaun Watson is trying to do?
Okay, you're taking me to therapy right now. You are my therapist. And my therapist told me never to argue with someone's feelings because what they feel is what they feel. There's no arguing there. However, I will look at your feelings and say, I don't agree with them. I'm not going to argue Deshaun's feelings, but I'm going to say I don't agree with his feelings. You know why? It's this simple. Are you a franchise quarterback? Are you a difference maker? Are you generational? I look at Patrick Mahomes, who was drafted to a 12-win team.
Yes, sir.
Remind everyone he was born on third base. That was a 12-win team. And he took them to, 3 AFC championship games, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and 1 Super Bowl win. And that same franchise had not won a Super Bowl in 50 years. And now Deshaun Watson's going to sit there in Houston and wants to run from that same adversity. Did Patrick Mahomes run from that adversity? Did he look around and say, now he didn't have to deal with a 4-12 squad because Patrick Mahomes ain't going to deal with no 4-12 squad. Hey, I'm asking you, Deshaun, if you on his level, because last time I checked, by the money, you're the second highest paid. Number 1 said, bring it on in terms of the challenge and the bump and trying to get to the next level. How come Deshaun Watson's not looking at his adversity like, bring it on, I can take this team and this organization to the next level?
Because they're two different levels. If you told me, and
But they were a playoff team twice.
You told me Mahomes was born on third base.
He was.
We know for a fact Deshaun was not. He was born somewhere around first.
He caught in that jam between first and second.
Yeah, exactly. But look, Andy Reid was, I think, wasn't he the 6th winningest coach of all time, even when Mahomes showed up?
Real talk.
Bill O'Brien was on the verge of being an incompetent head coach when Deshaun Watson is on the scene.
Bill gone.
So I don't know that
Bill gone.
Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes can even be compared as far as.
So why are you making the same amount of money as him if you ain't gonna be compared to him?
You can't right this ship, and he knows, bruh. If J.J. Watt.
Oh, come on.
74 sack in 5 seasons, J.J. Watt. 4-time All-Pro. Isn't he a 3-time defensive player?
You know he is because you said it earlier.
Time.
Don't try to bring no emphasis.
J.J. Watt. He raised $100 million even for hurricane relief while being an All-Pro on the field. If J.J. Watt can't write this shit, how Deshaun Watson supposed to?
Oh, because I got inspired this weekend watching Judas and the Black Messiah. I saw it. Deshaun Watson, are you Patrick Mahomes or you not? You Judas or the Black Messiah? Like, who are you, damn it? Are you going to be the one that's going to sit there and say, I can't do this, and you know what, I want out? Where are you going to land that's going to be better? You could think it's another situation better, but what can afford Deshaun Watson and give him better opportunities and guarantee him he's going to have a path to success? Last time I checked, Tampa Bay won the NFC and the Super Bowl. Last time I checked, Patrick Mahomes got a chip on his shoulder now in the AFC. No matter where you go, there you are. Or you Judas or the Black Messiah.